Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Beyond Normal podcast. We have a very special guest, somebody who I feel like they started their podcast journey, their founder journey around the same time as me during the pandemic, right around that time. And so it's been incredible to see the growth of Jarrett Thomas, who is our guest today. He is the Chief Revenue Officer for OTB Digital. He has an incredible background working for some incredible agencies in the New York area, and he decided to take a gamble on himself. In addition to that, he is a podcast host, doing some incredible things with his co-host and partner, Chad. And so I'm excited to have you here today, my boy. How's it going?
Bro, it's an honor, man. First of all, man, I just want to say thank you for having me on the show, man. I love seeing what you're doing, bro. I love the fact that you bet on yourself. We definitely started at the same time, man. I'm just glad to see the growth, man. I'm glad that we could collaborate, and this is what it's supposed to look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I want to spend less time uh, talking about what I do and a lot of this time here today talking about your journey into the space. So tell us a little bit, set the stage before you started OTB Digital and the podcast. Like, what were you doing with your life? What was taking up your time?
So I'll give you the quick 5 minutes of just the career overview, right? So I started getting in the industry, bro, when I was 20 years old, right? So I was working at La Panqua to the end. I was working at BBQ, smelling like ribs. I know people who hear the podcast hear me tell the story all the time, but I end up linking up with a company called Intent. So I basically went for a hospital call center job, and they told me a recruiter heard me speak, and he was like, "Yo, I love the way you speak. I love the way you move. Would you ever thought about sales or considered it?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm sitting here for like a hospital call center job. I'm just ready to get to the bag. Anything's better than working in BBQs at that point, right? I got my son on the way. He made me sell him a pencil straight out of Wolf of Wall Street. Happened to see the movie, so I knew the answer. And the next thing you know, I'm going downtown. He's telling me to come to his office. I do a video profile. They send it to the client, which was Intent, and then I end up getting the job. But when I tell you it was straight boiler room, it was the most boiler room job you could ever have. If you ain't get your deals by Friday, you were going Monday, straight up and down. So it was like one of those environments. And they go around the room. Everybody saying, "Hey, I'm from Buffalo State. I'm from here. I'm from here." I was the last person to go, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm Jarrett Thomas from the Bronx. Graduated from Evander Childs High School, and I'm gonna be the top seller here." I don't know what made me say that, but just something made me say, "There's no shot. It's either this or I'm going back to what I was doing, and I can't go back to what I was doing." So I wasn't gonna let anything deter me, bro. So I ended up becoming a top seller within 5 months. I did $250,000 a quarter for them for 8 straight quarters. Then I ended up leaving, and I was actually one of Cannes' first employees. So I thought it was the film festival, and I was actually working for the International Festival of Creativity. I was selling their archive library to some of the biggest agencies in the world. So I did that for about a year, became a VP of an agency, brought a couple of products to market, including Talk Walkers Influencer One. And things got really exciting for me, bro, when I was at iPull Rank. So shout out to Mike King and the entire IPR team. But I met some relationships. Shout out to Chris Hart. He called me, said, "Yo, I'm at this place. A great founder. I think you could strive here," and all that other stuff. We met with Mike King. He was just like us, bro. He was just like us, black man that's running a multi-million-dollar agency, and had the vision. And so I came there, was hungry. I had a conversation with him. I'm like, "Yo, how are you generating revenue?" He was like, "I'm doing webinars, I'm doing podcasts, I'm doing my own short stories, I'm doing this and doing that." Then that's when the light bulb went off, bro. Boom. I was like, okay, cool. So it's not these 1,000 emails that you want me to send out. It's not this traditional sales process that you want me to follow. It's the outside the box thinking that end up getting you a 6 figure agency to hire me for the price that I need. So if you can do that, I'm gonna do that. So I don't know nothing about LinkedIn. You're on Twitter. You're not on LinkedIn like that. I'm gonna go over here. I had 200 followers, bro. And imagine going into your sales team, your sales director, and they like, "Yo, send out a bunch of emails, get these meetings." And I'm like, "Nah, give me 3 months. I'm gonna build on LinkedIn. I'm gonna have them come to us."
Mm.
Craziest thing. I bet on myself right there. I could have lost my job. First of all, my sales director could have said, "Shut up." Like, I don't. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Because my job is on this too. So go ahead and go get them deals like you're getting paid to do. And he believed in me, bro. And so every day I would go on LinkedIn with my partner Lee Gall, and we just started creating content every day, learning the algorithm. But one thing that I understood and found out early in the process, there wasn't too many people that looked like us, bro. There wasn't too many people that talked like us, looked like us, had the experience I knew I had. And so I said, "Yo, I'm just gonna add some different sauce to it." And I stopped talking about the product. I started telling my story, and that's when things took off, bro. We end up doing a $450,000 deal within 4 months. Closed a
Wow.
450K deal, bro, in 4 months due to LinkedIn, and then kept us afloat during the pandemic. And then we closed a bunch of deals after that. We worked with Complex, Target, a bunch of brands from there. And 2 years in, bro, we did $2.5 million without a cold call or email.
Mm.
Crazy, bro. And I grew my profile from 200 followers to 20,000. And then from there it was lit, man. And then I just felt like I was doing a lot for the brand. I felt like I wasn't, you're doing a lot, man. I was sitting there stressed out. I'm sitting there burning out. I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing sales. I got my kids. It's a lot of things going on. I'm putting in 13-hour days, and I felt like I should have been appreciated more, and I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of things I could have done differently in that aspect as well. And then I just ended up quitting on a limb. Boop, just quit. Put out a post, bro, with my face on Steph Curry's body, and said, Jarrett's a free agent, breaking news. I'm like, he scores this many points, and he's looking for a championship roster. Sources tell me he's looking for a championship team, and he's ready to go crazy. Bro, went viral, 200,000 views. That's
Wow.
from LinkedIn, Microsoft, from Amazon to Google, all these companies, bro. The only problem was it was a lot of red tape in these organizations, and they wouldn't let me to do the podcast. So what I didn't add was the podcast was the reason why we were getting a bunch of these deals. So I created a podcast, and I would get our ICP on people that I knew that could do deals with us, and just be a person. I wasn't selling. I wasn't talking about product. It's like, yo, bro, how's your family? How you living? Like, how you doing the business? How you coping with all this stuff? And we just had real conversations. And we built a lot of relationships, and through those relationships, people saw it, or they would directly give us a deal. So once I did that thing on LinkedIn, bro, with the Steph Curry face, landed at Hootsuite because they told me, yo, be you. Be you, come through, bring the podcast, bring all your juice, or bring all the sauce, and we're gonna champion you. And they did exactly that, bro. Started more than a title. The first week I landed at Hootsuite. First guest was Rudy
Wow.
Lettigore, CMO of Gong. And then I end up interviewing the CMO of Hootsuite, Maggie Lower. Then I end up interviewing the CEO of Hootsuite. Then mad stuff transpired from there. Then they had a big layoff. I got fired, and I did 1.5 million for them in 6 months. And I'm like, how the hell I do all this stuff? And I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing more than a traditional salesperson, and you don't find the budget for me.
Mm.
It was a wrap. I just got tight at that point. I'm like, yeah, I played the game to perfection at that point, and I get the one laid off. But John Smith keeps his job. John Smith ain't doing what Jarrett's doing, and with all due respect. So, bro, I got tired of corporate, and I called up Cuzzo. He was in the same situation I was in. He was tired of construction work and all that stuff, and I said, yo, we're gonna start a business. We're gonna move this podcast, and we're gonna create a 6 7 figure million, six or seven figure company by ourselves, doing what we love to do. And within the first week of us opening the business, bro, the LLC, we ended up getting our first client for doing LinkedIn workshops. And then we landed a Fortune 2000 brand after that, and it's been up since then, bro.
Love that, man. That's a great story, bro. So I'm curious. Like you said a lot in there. One of the gems was around like LinkedIn. You go into that LinkedIn as a platform where you like you said there were not a lot of people like you. Like how did you remain, or how did you start off saying I'm going to create authentic content, because that's not typically what people do on LinkedIn. They see what others are doing, right, and then they replicate.
Yeah. But I just saw it, man. So the thing that separated, or the thing that happened in my mind was, bro, that LinkedIn is no different from Instagram or Facebook. But why am I putting a majority of my time into Instagram and Facebook, and it has no opportunity to drive me revenue? If this is where the decision makers are at, my whole thought process was, I had a line I used to say, teach them how to fish and they'll learn you sell fishing poles. So if I'm trying to sell fishing poles, I got to be the thought leader in the space, the person that they trust. So when they're actually in the market for it, they're going to come to me and me only. So that was my whole process. So if I'm in an SEO agency, I'm talking SEO. But before I even become a thought leader, I need you to like me as the person. I can have all the right material in the world. I can have gems, but you could just think I'm boring, I'm corny, I'm this, and
Mhm.
it cannot land. So my thing was, how do I balance that, bro? And I knew there was nobody on LinkedIn that had a hat and a hoodie. There was nobody on their couch. There was nobody doing and saying the things I was doing, posting what I was posting. And I was like, I just gotta be me. And so when I told that story that I just shared with you about me getting that job and selling the pencil straight out of Wolf of Wall Street, that was my first viral post. I got 100,000 views on that post. People from Germany, France, Chicago, LA, Australia. People was like, yo, this is my story, man. This is so inspiring. Yo, I did something just like that. Yo, it's so crazy, man. And I felt like I was speaking for the people like me who didn't have the voice. So it became a bigger mission for me, bro. How do I talk for people like you and I who are really doing the things and putting in the work, but necessarily don't get the recognition? And how do we
Um,
monetize that?
yeah, that's thinking outside the box, like you said. Like, I want to touch on that because in the space you're in, it seems like businesses, corporations, companies come to you and they want that outside of the box thinking, right? Like, is that a part of like your sales pitch? Like when you get into your sales pitch with folks?
Absolutely. Because if you want some cookie cutter solution, you can go to any agency in the world. Especially now with AI, bro, you see the agency space is shifting. There's mergings of holding companies. There's different smaller agencies that are going out of business. AI is changing a lot of things, bro. So right now, the one thing that we have to hold on to is what our creativity. That's something that they can't do. They can give you some decent ideas, but they still can't give you that effect because we're part of the culture. We know what's going on. We know the pulse of what's happening outside. So at the end of the day, that's the pitch all the time. And that's what we did when we landed one of our Fortune 2000 brands. One of the first brands we thought of, they had a drink trying to sell a hard seltzer, and we were coming out with, like they had a drink called Tall Tales. I mean, like a tall boys. You know what I'm saying? It was a tall can, like 24 ounce of drink, whatever, whatever. And we came up with an idea for tall tales. Like imagine crazy things that you do that you wouldn't believe, but you're drinking this drink, right? So we came up with some fire stuff and all that. They came out with it and everything was lit, bro. So it's just how do we I don't want to do the same thing as everybody else. That's the part of the LinkedIn strategy. Everybody goes right, I want to go left. And that's the way you stand out in the market. Same thing with the podcasting space or any business. How do you differentiate yourself in a crowded market?
Hmm, I like that. Like that. And I think like talk about a little bit about being in like the space that you're in is really interesting to me. B2B, it's not always like the sexy path, right? Like everybody wants to go some like direct to consumer product, you see. Um, talk a little bit about how much of a grind it can be closing one of these deals, though. Obviously, like you said, when you start your business, you had some success with some Fortune 2000 companies, right? But like, what did it like? How long? When did you start building that relationship to the time it took you to close? Like, talk a little bit about what that sales cycle is, I guess you
Yeah,
call
so,
that.
so you know what? I don't necessarily even call it a process, right? For me, most of my deals, 90% of our deals and our monetary value and how we monetize is through relationships. But you got to look at it like a seed, bro. Every seed is going to sprout differently. Some may take 1 year, some may take 2 years, some may take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It took me 30 asks to get Dr. Matthew Knowles on the show. 30 asks. How many people are going to ask somebody the same thing 30 times and get rejected 29 times and say this is the one moment where he's going to do it? So that's what it is for me. It's not the business aspect, it's the relationship value, right? So if I'm really trying to build a relationship with somebody, especially of that stature, you've got to show and prove. You got to constantly bring value. So sometimes, especially like when I was at the agency, I wouldn't sell unless I made 10 touches with you. 10 touches. I have to like one of your posts. I have to comment. You have to comment on something of mine. We have to DM each other for a couple of exchanges. And then when we feel comfortable is then when I'm making the ask. Yo, hey, let's get on the phone because I think I got something that's of value for you. What that does is it kills the sales process in general because guess what? I don't have to do 4 discovery calls. You already trust me. You already trust me. So now it's either can we do it or can we not do it? And it's always better when they come inbound because you hold the leverage. When somebody comes to you inbound and say, well, they want to do business with you, and that was my entire goal. How do I get people to come to me? Because that's going to improve my sales process by 50%. Because you've already decided you want to do business. You went to the website, you did some research, you did all that, and you still were compelled enough to reach out to me. So at that point, the deal is closed. All I got to do is smile and solve. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point. So that was my whole process of philosophy. So for B2B, everything is just relationships for me, bro. You're not, especially what's going on right now with the administration and all that. You know how hard it is for an agency just in general, let alone a black agency? It's crazy out here. It's hard to get sponsorships for your shows. It's hard to get this. It's hard to get that. You have to build your own foundation. And at the end of the day, bro, it's all relationships. The fact that you can be able to call somebody and say, what's up? Like, I could call the CEO of Versus, right? That's my brother. And I just met him a month ago. Some people, I might not get that same relationship. It might take me 3 years. But it is what it is, bro. As long as you have the relationship, as long as you can provide value and connect the dots, it's going to be way more valuable than anything you ever do.
The way that you speak, do you have a do you have a mentality that you can sell or deliver any solution? I'm curious.
Have to believe it.
Yeah.
Have to. Have to believe it. I feel like, but that's the ego in us, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the ego, and that's the yo, I can sell to anybody. That's how I was able to. What I tell you in the beginning, I went in the riddle of a room with a bunch of people I don't know and said I'm gonna be the top seller here. And I come from Evander Childs High School in the Bronx, one of the baddest schools in the Bronx. It's a level of confidence that you have to say nothing's gonna stop me. I'm a big believer in affirmations and all that. I gotta say it. I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna hold myself accountable. And if I don't do it, it's on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta push. Now I gotta stay up. Now I gotta send that extra email. When everybody's leaving to rush to the train at 5 o'clock, I'm staying at 5:15 to make one more call. Just one more call.
I mean, that is really the founder. Like we obviously there's a big focus on like the startup space now. Like people starting their own businesses. I look at what you and Chad are building as a startup. I'll be honest. Even though folks label things differently. And that is really like the ethos of what it takes, right? Like you're going the extra mile when others are just they're just doing the job. They're putting in their time. But you as the founder, the business owner, you can't do that. You do not have that luxury.
No, I can't tell you how many times we've sacrificed it. We have a saying, free to fee. Free to fee. And we learned that from Mario Armstrong. He told us some real stuff. And it was like, yo, that's where we are right now. We did a lot of things for free that led to major opportunities that came with a fee. And that we had to just bet on, bro. It was times was tough as hell. We didn't know we had to rub two nickels together. We had to figure this. We had to rob Peter to pay Paul and not pay this bill over here to make sure we get to this trip over here and do a lot. It's real. But are you gonna sacrifice? How bad do you want it? Bro, we had to do the Rohan Marley interview. It cost us $4,000 to get the team down to Miami, and it was right before Christmas. We almost celebrated Kwanzaa uptown. we almost did Kwanzaa uptown. It's how bad do you want it?
Wow.
It's how bad do you want it? Yo, we gotta scrape it up. We gotta do this. Yo, I know little man want the switch today, but no,
Uh,
no, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta get down there.
I appreciate you having that transparency. I recently we had our first live with the guests and the audience with Donovan Everett, a local contractor here in the Charlotte area, North Carolina area. They're the general contractor for the Hornet Stadium, and so they're doing big things as a black man creating a business. And the cost of me having that live event, Jarrett, I was like, this is different. But the quality, how it turned out, I was like, oh, I gotta do more of this. So like to your point, when you search for those opportunities, you start to figure out a way, and maybe you don't buy that new switch too for a couple months.
That's it. That's just betting on yourself, bro. You have to. You get as an entrepreneur, you get so many opportunities that you know they're going to transform your business that you just have to take. There's certain opportunities that you just have to figure out. Can is one of them. Like Rohan telling us he's coming to the crib, bro. Like come to the crib. We're the only podcast. He was with Steve Jack and them. He was with this one. He was with Drink Champs. He was with all the major podcasts in the world. But we're in his living room.
That's crazy.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Two dudes from the
Wow.
Bronx, bro, with independent, no sponsors, no nothing. And went
Wow.
down there and made it happen, set up our own equipment, moving furniture around ourselves, and then sat down and did a 3-hour interview, no pauses.
So all right, so you're touching on something here I have to ask because your background, right? You come from Go Get It. You're in New York City. You're used to doing in-person engagement. Like, how do you feel about somebody who sets out to do all these interactions virtually or digitally versus like in the space you're in, do you have to get in front of people face to face?
it helps, but sometimes you just can't. So the way I look at the podcast, bro, like regardless of how many, we've definitely gotten major views. We was charting on Apple, all that stuff, bro. But like, I necessarily don't even care about the views. I'm keeping it real with you. You know what I care about? I care about the relationship. Every week, I get 2 shots to speak with people that are actually running business and doing amazing things. Every week, I get 2 shots for free. What I'm paying for the StreamYard, I'm paying for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a minimal cost to meet somebody. And at the end of the day, if you have great energy, you have great energy, and you're still gonna bond. Will it be as crazy as an in person? Probably not. But then you get there. Then you get there. You know what I'm saying? So like a big opportunity like Inkwell Beach came off a virtual podcast with Adrienne. Shout out to Adrienne and the entire Inkwell team. We had her on the show, and we had a great experience. And you know what she said? Yo, I want y'all to come here, bring that experience in person, and be on stage. And you know what we did? We showed up and showed out. We went on Inkwell Beach, bro. We brought the CMO of McDonald's. We brought Dr. Marcus Collins. We brought Walter Gear. We brought Abba Blankson, who was the CMO of NAACP. We brought Perry Fair, who's the SVP of Mattel. Just won a line. Just came off the stage from winning a line to come rock with us at Inkwell. Then we had Steve Pomone, the CEO of Versus, come through right after Timberland performs.
Crazy.
Like, bro, none of this we paid for. And I'm saying that as an inspiration, not a flex, but an inspiration to everybody. That's the relationship value. To make the call and be able to do it. And sometimes you're not going to get a lot of it, but you can't put a price on that. So what are you valuing at that point? Because those are things that are also going to help progress your business. And it's going to open up other opportunities and other opportunities. They're going to say, who are those guys? So it's a constant bet on yourself. It's a constant bet on yourself. It's a constant bet. It can cost a lot. Hell yeah. But at the end of the day, guess what? We're going again next year.
You'll figure out a way. You'll figure out a way to pay for that.
Figure out a way. And you do it, bro. And it's some tough days. But if you guys want it, we have the creativity. We have the know-how. We have the skill set to do it. All of us do. But are you willing to sacrifice the comfort and the stability to do so?
So, all right, this is an incredible list. Shout out to Walter as well. He's definitely somebody in that space who I followed and just learn from all the time, just like you and Chad. I want to talk about starting a business with the co-founder, what that experience has been like working with you and Chad, and how you all really found your bread and butter in terms of what you can do well and what Chad can do well, making that.
It all starts with what we're passionate about. What do we feel like we can make the most impact? And I'm gonna tell you, that was the hardest thing to figure out at first. What I did know is I wanted to continue to do the podcast. My biggest thing was, how do I use the podcast as a lead generation system for our business, OTB Digital? So that means getting in contact with people who we could potentially do business with, but also give us good content. So it's a delicate balance. So I told Chad, like, what I'm really good at, I'm really good at social media. I'm really good at marketing. I'm really good at sales. I'm really good at managing the P&L. I'm really good at booking guests, right? So what I need you to do is the things that you're already good at, right? Creating the flyers, right? Overseeing this, overseeing that, right? Like making sure everything's in tune. And it was never no issue because that's my brother. Like, so that's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? So like, we do this anyway. So I'm doing my podcast. He's always supporting it anyway in the background anyhow. If I needed something, he's there. So I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, we do vacations together. We do barbecues together. When we go anywhere, we shut down the room. Why wouldn't I have my brother on the show? Why not put it on camera? We just never decided to put it on camera. So as far as that, we've never had no issues, bro. We at our height, we was doing like 20, 25 MRR. But we wasn't taking anything out the business. We were just putting it back in, putting it back in, putting it back in, putting it back in. We need this over here. Put it back in, put it back in, put it back in. Let's fly over here. Let's meet this person over here. And that's what we were doing, bro. So we never had no issues because you know what? With me and Cuzzo, it's just love. He knows I got his best interest at heart. I know he got my best interest at heart. And it just is what it is. We'll figure it out. If times get tough, we figure it out. Times get really good, we figure it out. And we've had experience of both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just finding what you're passionate about as far as the business. Like, what would you do for free that you want to get paid for? What don't you mind doing when it's your birthday and you're in Miami Beach and you got to do a client initiative, right? The client hits you up and say, I need this slight revision, but you in the club. Do you mind it? We've had those scenarios. We in the club, in the middle of the club, no problem. Going right to the
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop. Here you go. Back to the club, like like that on them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
My laptop is always in the car. So
Always
hard that.
around. Always around. There's always Wi-Fi somewhere. So what do you want to do? So that's the sacrifice, bro. And it's led us to some great success and some great relationships, bro. And I didn't have I'm gonna just keep it funky with you. I didn't have a blueprint. A lot of what I do is I trust my gut. It may sound crazy to people, but I trust my gut. I never had a set list of who I wanted to have on the podcast. I just would shoot shots.
Hmm.
I would see people doing amazing things, and I'm just shooting a shot. Yo, that was dope. I felt that. Can I get over here? Can you come over here? Can you come over here? Till it became a thing.
Hmm.
Like Matthew Knowles, Dr. Shot to Dr. Matthew Knowles. He came on the show 15 minutes early, bro, and said, I want one of those sound effects. I can't wait to get a message.
Oh yeah. Hey, for folks who have not listened to Jarrett and Chad, the sounds that they use, the soundboard, uh, message, you all will understand when you listen to the content. But it sticks in your head. Seriously.
It's all culturally rooted, man. What do
Yeah.
we know? What feels like us?
It's so wild. I haven't seen any other podcast really do that. Darn. Really?
Joe and Jade, I was watching the episode with it wasn't who was it? It was 85 South.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So they had an episode with 85 South, and Jada, he didn't put a thing up, but he was like, message. I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was
There's
like,
some
yeah, but I love it. But we think in the same, what
the
are those things that
frequency.
are culturally that we all can, that's from that, that's from that, that's from that. And it just brings up different entertainment value, bro. So,
Yeah. They came out Joe and Jada, they came out the gate swinging with their content. Their content looks.
they're
Yeah.
killing. But then
Yeah.
how do us, you and I, as a small content creator, a small independent media shop, compete with that? What are some things you think that can help us get to that level? And it's got to be
Mm.
those small things, those nuances, the message, the this, the that, right? Doing things that are different in the space. People are doing the same thing that we've been preaching on LinkedIn. You build a brand big enough, then you're going to be able to monetize immediately. They've got 20 years worth of brand,
More than that.
20, 30 years of brand value. How do you compete with that?
That
Creativity.
Jada on that versus stage, bro. That was one of the moments like
Come on, iconic.
it
And he
was,
still don't get the recognition he don't. He just
yeah, he don't. Because at that moment, I was like, this is like different. Like, what is going on here? It was one of those moments for me. Like, this cannot be real. This run, this 20-minute run that he is on is like a moment in time.
facts, facts.
Talk a little bit about like New York being there now versus I know I grew up in the tri-state. We used to always go to the city. It was an amazing time growing up there. But like being in the city now, like what energy does it give you being there? What does it do for you being in that city in this moment?
I'm gonna give you a left field answer, bro. You know what? I have to be in it. And the reason being, like, I could been move out and stuff like that, like, cuz will move upstate and all that. But like, I need to see the people. So something I used to do when I was working at Starbucks before I got the sales opportunity intent. I used to get home every day, bro. I used to leave at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work, whatever. Boom, boom, come to at like 5, 6 o'clock at night, and I would walk through my neighborhood in Parkchester. I would look at every single building. I mean, every single building and every single window with the lights on, and I would think there was a story, there was $1 million story that nobody knew about. I don't know why I did that, bro, because I would think that about me. They don't know what I'm going through. They don't know what kind of mindset I have. They don't know what kind of ideas I have. So I need to see the people, bro. Because there's stories all around us and people are doing amazing stuff that's not getting an opportunity. And I need to be in it to see what's happening because I want to make impact where I'm from. So I got to see the problems. I got to see what's going on. I got to see who's still on the strip. I got to see
Mhm.
all of that. You know what I mean? Who's out here? Who went to the joint? Okay, word. Who's coming home? Who's doing that? I need to know all of that stuff, bro. So I'm heavily in tune in my neighborhood, heavily in tune, and I gotta be around that energy, bro. Because when I walk outside, it's a different energy, it's a different love now. When I walk outside with my kids to go get some breakfast or something like that, it's love. I'm getting hugs and kisses. I've been here my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like I know
Mhm.
everybody. You know what I'm saying? So when I walk outside and see an elderly lady and they like, yo, I'm proud of you. Or I see the homie that never been off the strip, the ones that seen me since I was a pup and seen
Yeah,
what I was doing to what I'm doing now, and they looking at me like, yo, bro, I love you, man. Like, I need that energy. That's what keeps me motivated. Cause now it's like, how do I bring what we're doing back to help them?
yeah, exactly. I I got to take my toddler to New York for the first time to visit my aunt in Manhattan, and it was really weird seeing my daughter working walking the city block in New York. Like it was like, yeah, like I never thought that I would have this experience, but here's my daughter like experiencing New York, and her face was like she was soaking up all the energy. She was super happy, ecstatic. You know, we live in the country, right, in North Carolina, right? So she ain't really never seen nothing like that. But it brought back memories. Like this, she's 3. Yeah, eyes wide open, noticing everything, all that goes on in the city. I was like, yeah, this definitely impacted me being in these places growing up. Um, Going to basketball courts, playgrounds, all that stuff, man. I still remember.
Shit, what kind of impact it had on you, man? Let's talk about what kind of impact it had on you now that you're in the country. Like,
So I think for me, I definitely appreciate my peace and I embrace silence. Like finding those moments, being in the city and then being able to like have a moment to yourself. Like I remember like going to Rucker Park, seeing Fat Joe, Steph Marbury, like these moments is like I seen all those things and so I take those with me. And then when I'm in the Carolinas, which is country, right? I still have those moments. I can be chill. I can hey, not stretching. I'm not grabbing for stuff, you know, too much. Like just balance now in my life, man. And I had those experiences early on, so I don't really regret anything. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And it's really truly because of where I grew up.
you hit the nail on the head. It's what you value now, bro. You would you say you value the serenity, the peace, and the
Yeah,
quiet. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody got everybody got what makes them go, bro. And that's what it
yeah.
is, bro. But
But every once in a while, I gotta go back up there. I gotta go back up there and soak in that energy, have some of that food. I missed it.
that's it, That's it. Me personally, bro. I get my creativity comes from the chaos.
Yeah, you embrace the chaos.
Embrace it, bro. Like if it's too quiet, then we too successful to me. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Then how do I keep my pulse? My finger on the pulse. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me in general, bro. Like that's what I said. Like when I walk outside and I see things going on, that's the creativity. Being able to see the everything going on the strip, seeing the Watson games. We were just outside. You know what I mean? Going to Dykeman and all that. Like
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I love it.
So I'm curious, like, how does this? Do you ever think about how your career end? Are you want it to end? Do you want it to end?
Yeah, bro. I've had a lot of losses in the summer, man. First of all, RP to all my, what I mean? I have a couple of family members back. I think about it all the time. How would it end? How all this, bro? I just want to be somebody to make an impact. I want my legacy to speak volumes, bro. I want it to be like, yo, for me, when it's all said and done, career wise, everything wise, it's just like, yo, he went out and he did it. He tried it. He opened up doors for people. He wasn't selfish with it. Like nobody can say no crazy stories about me, and I pride myself on that. I always take the long route. I never jerked nobody. I never did nothing. I never stole nothing from nobody. Like that means something to me, bro. So like for me, I want to be the Clarence Avon of this thing when my career ends. I want to be the person that has so many relationships and that had made so many plays happen that you didn't even know it was me.
Mm, I like that.
Impacted the culture. You be like, damn, man, Living Color was on, and this one's on, and this show started. Oh, did you know this? Did you know that? Did you know that Jarrett introduced this one, and this how this happened over here? Because they were both on the show, and that's how I reciprocate to the guests. I'm not paying them. So I'm not paying you. You're coming through to give me an hour and a half. In some instances, you get people giving us 4 hours of straight live stream time. 4 hours straight, no bathroom breaks, nothing, just going. So I'm like, how do we reciprocate that? By bringing value. You need to know this one. You need to know that one. You need to know this one. You need to know that. Whatever happens, when we say that on the show, it's real. We introduce people. We get off the phone. We get off the phone. Yo, meet this one, meet that one. All right, y'all. Yo, that's what it is. Y'all family now. We off. And mad business deals have happened as a result of that.
That's breaking bread.
Yeah, that's it, bro. We ain't got to be here. We ain't got to sit there and listen to the conversation and know what's going on and ask for PC. This is love. Because it's going to happen. When it's time for us to break bread, we will. But in the meantime, get what you need to get.
I like that. And Jarrett, for those who are listening in, Jarrett really does act how he is speaking right now. I can tell you, he comes to me quite often. Hey, when you come in, when we're connecting, just having that open door, like you said, and making sure folks are connected. Man, I appreciate you doing that.
Come on, man. It's love,
It
bro.
means a lot. In this space, podcasting can be lonely. It can be demanding of your resources.
Yeah.
As Jarrett has definitely mentioned. And so these connections, these relationships we're building, bro, they're gonna last a lifetime. I guarantee you.
That's it. It don't have to be that.
I appreciate you and just sharing your story. This has been a different one for me because you are a podcaster. You're doing amazing things in the space. You and Chad.
Appreciate you.
I look to you all the time. I'm always checking in on your stream, what I got going on. Tell folks, like, what's the easiest way for them to stay connected to you and the brand? Is it the website? You have other kind of ways for them to tap into all the things that you're doing.
Absolutely. So if you want to know business-wise, it's otb-digital.com. So if it's business, we do social media marketing, we do content creation, we do social media strategy, we do LinkedIn webinars, workshops. So any B2B brand that maybe hear this, if you want your sales team to be able to go on LinkedIn and drive revenue and relationship the way I told you in my story, we have an entire playbook. You can also get that playbook if you're a salesperson. It's still right there, OTB Digital. It's called Relationships Over Revenue, right? It shows you how the algorithm works, how I created content, some of the results of the content I created, and it gives you templates. So we have all that on deck, you know what I mean? And if you want to go stay in tune with More Than a Title, go to YouTube, More Than a Title, MORETHANA, and then Title, TITLE. But the only thing on there, you'll see us rocking out. You know what I mean? We have some great guests. We took a month off. We've been going 3 years straight, every Tuesday and Thursday. 3 years straight, no breaks, no vacations. If I'm on vacation, I'm still partying. And we just took a break, and we're coming back August 5th. We got the president of OVO pulling up. We got Sporty Thieves pulling up. We got a lot of people pulling up, man. We got Imani from Culture Con. We got Colette Smith, who was the first female NFL coach coming through. She was in the Jets. You know, we got a bunch of people pulling up, man. So pull up. It's real conversation. We don't cook. We don't gatekeep. We don't do none of that. You want opportunities, you want information, we give it for free. Come through, get the game. Because if we don't do nothing with it, then, you know what I mean? That's on us. We can't blame nobody. So that's what it's about, y'all. And I just want to say before we, Ken, I'm proud of you, bro.
Appreciate it.
For staying the course. Proud of you, bro. So you one person for the listeners. He's one person that he saying what he do. He taps in. Anything he needs, we reciprocate, bro. You got this, you got that. What system you using? What microphone are you using, right? We need to have these conversations. So it was important for me to come through. When Ken said it was no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
They need to see that we here. They need
exactly.
Like this. Soon as you pick up the phone, I'm here, bro. No, what? I don't care what I'm doing. I'll be on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like,
I appreciate it, bro.
Brother, like, so I just want to say that, man. I got nothing but love and respect for you, bro. Just keep grinding. It's nothing but love, and anything we could do, we here. You know the vibes.
Appreciate that, Jarrett. Last thought. What should our listeners, that lasting thought you want them to take away? You've already dropped a bunch of gems, but as we close out, what you want to close out on?
Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself all days, every day. If you don't get anything from my stories, that I continuously bet on myself every step of the way. My first sales job, I went in there and said I'm gonna be the best salesperson in the organization. I became that within 6 months. Right? I went to Cannes, didn't know anything about the Festival of Creativity, but I went there. I bet on myself. I wanted to win a Cannes. I became a VP of an agency, bet on myself. Brought several products to market, bet on myself. Doing a podcast during a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
betting on myself, buying equipment. I didn't have no lighting kit. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have anything. But what I did have was belief in myself that I could change something. It's going to be a lot of rough days. It's going to be a lot of good days, but you got to stand on that. And I promise you, if you lead the right way, you lead with your heart, everything's going to open up the way it's supposed to. Everything's going to happen how it's supposed to. So leading your purpose, y'all bet on yourself. And you know what I mean? Let's get this. I want to see more of us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mic drop moment. Appreciate everybody for listening to another great episode of the Beyond Normal podcast. Peace.